Okay, it is a testament to the ridiculous humidity right now that I actually put my hair on hot rollers this morning. And you can see this just, no. But I did get rid of that hideous blonde. I went and I had my color girl do, quote, whatever you'd like, go ahead and do it, because I trusted her because she is a genius with highlights, and I just didn't like the blonde. She wanted to make me blonde, and no, there's a reason I was not born blonde. Anyway, so I haven't fixed my tech issues, and all of this is still extraordinarily frustrating, but we're going to soldier on. Today I'm going to be talking to you about cleaners. Now, I've been trying a lot of different stain removing products over the last couple of months to compare and contrast, and these are not all of the ones I intend to try. I have more, but you know, I've been talking about this video for a while, so I figured let's just do part one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you each one individually, tell you how much I paid for it, and what I thought of it, and then at the end I'm going to tell you which ones are my favorites and least favorites in this group. So let's get into that. I'm going to cut this into small sections so hopefully my software doesn't start freaking out on us like it likes to do. But anyway, before I get started, one last bit of news is that my 10-inch pad pattern is now available in the files section of the Facebook group. So if you have not joined the Facebook group yet, but you want access to my pattern, I will put the link for that down below so that you can go and have a look. I have a lot of people in the queue asking for membership, and if I am not given permission to view your Facebook page, I can't let you in. We've just had too many issues. So anyway, let's get into the cleaners, and I'll tell you which ones I like. Okay, so the first one I want to talk to you about is this one. It's OxiClean Mechs Force Gel Stick, and I bought this at either Target or Walmart. I can't remember which store I picked this up in now. And I got this for about $3.50, maybe $4. I can't recall, but it was in that range. It was under $5, but it was $3.50 or $4. You can get it at Walmart according to their website for $3.50. I no longer have the receipt for this, but it wasn't terribly expensive. And it comes in this tube type thing bottle. And when you take the cap off, it has these little knobbly plastic things that are a little bit soft, a little bit rubbery, but they're pretty hard. So they're not going to bend or anything. And the idea is that when you push, when this gets depressed, the gel comes out from here. And because I've had such wonderful success with soaking my pads in the OxiClean brand powder, which is like the Vanish powder, it's the same type of product as Vanish brand in Western European countries. It works pretty well. Anyway, I did several. I went most of an entire cycle of pads using this, and you can see it didn't use, you know, a terrible lot of the product. And I've used it on some regular laundry stains because in the end I did not find this to be very effective. One thing that you need to keep in mind when I'm talking to you about stain products and what did and did not work on mine is that body pH is different for everybody, and you know, the actual chemical composition of a person's menstrual fluid is different from person to person. That's about as scientific as I'm going to go on that, because I don't have enough education on the specifics and particulars to go any deeper than that. But just because something works really well for another person, it won't necessarily work really well for you, but it's a pretty good indicator. So this one I did not find to be terribly effective. In fact, every single one of the pads that I stain treated with this, I had to go back and stain treat with something else to get the stain out. So I definitely would not recommend this product. However, I have found that it does really well for like grease stains, you know, like if you have children or if you yourself tend to be accident prone, as I am, getting ketchup and, you know, if you're the kind that drops sauce on your shirt when you eat, or, you know, you tend to lean forward and get stuff on your shirt, this tends to get that sort of thing out, like oil spatter from when you're cooking or whatever. It's a good laundry treater, but as far as the menstrual stain category, I'm not a big fan. So I would not recommend this one. Okay, let's moving on. I'm going to start a new video section. The next one I'm going to talk to you about is the Buncha Farmers Stain Stick. And this one, that's the French side, and that's the English side, all backwards, because that's the way the camera works. Sorry. I know. I'm like the most inept YouTuber with the camera thing ever in the history of YouTube. But okay, this is what the box looks like, Bunch Farmers, and it's teeny tiny when you get it. And I paid, I want to say $5 for this. And I got it off the internet a while back. I ordered this through the, I want to say I ordered this from Lunapads. Yeah, I ordered this when I ordered my Lunapad. So I ordered this from the Lunapad's website, but you can get it any number of places. There are parts of the country that have store chains that actually you can get it in the store, but for most people you're going to have to order this online. And you can get it from Amazon, you can get it from various and sundry diapering websites, you can get it because it's used in a lot of, you know, biostain applications. People rave about it. And people raved about this to the skies, and so I was really excited to try this. And it smells so nice. It has kind of a lemony scent to it. And you can see this is the stick fills the box almost exactly when you order it, and I used it on 2 different cycles worth of pads. So I'd say, you know, after stain treating about 10 to 15 pads over time, that's about how much of this stick is used. So it would last you quite a while. And again, it's a relatively inexpensive product. I paid $5 for this, plus shipping, of course, but I ordered it with something else, so it was not a huge shipping cost addition. But this, you know, you have to take the price into consideration for how small the stick really is. So I would say this would probably last you about 6 months or so if you were using this exclusively for your stain treater. Smells fantastic, and it is moderately effective. However, it is not the most effective stain treater amongst the ones that I used. So a lot of people rave about this and say that the stains just disappear before their eyes when they use this. So don't count it out, and it did remove the stains a little bit, but I had stubborn stains that were left, and so a few of the pads that I treated with the Buncha Farmers, I did have to go back and use a different stain treater to get the stains to release. So, and I found that those were the ones that did the darker, the brown staining. This was not effective at all on those for me. So for some people, I think it is, because, you know, you read the reviews and it's all right there, everybody talking about how it's the best stain treater ever. But in my case, I found 2 others to be much more effective than this one. So let's go to the first of those. This is the Ecover stain treater, stain remover. It's called the Ecover stain remover, powered by nature. That's what it says right here, but you can't see it because it's backwards and the sun is shining on it. This was a magnificent stain remover. This comes off and you get these little bristles on top. I ordered this and it smells unbelievably deliciously florally good. I mean, it's if I had a candle that smelled like this, I'd smell it all day. It smells like bergamot. There's like a citrusy, almost lemony, but not quite lemon. It's bergamot and perhaps lavender. I'm not sure. It smells so good. I would bathe in this if I could. It also happens to be an extraordinarily effective stain treater. This removed every stain that I had, you know, just as well as the one I've been using from the beginning, which is still my favorite. I'll talk about that in a minute. I got this as an add-on product on Amazon for $3.49, and depending on which third-party seller you end up buying it from and what part of the world you're in, the price may vary, but it's an inexpensive cleaner. I used this for 2 months in a row, and I did quite a few pads with this. It gets used up a lot faster than the other ones that I've tried. So, I mean, it used up this much for 2 months worth of pads. So, you know, you got 4 or 5 months. And that seems to be the running thing, is that any of these, if you only use it for your menstrual pad cleaning, stain treatment, you'll probably have it for 5 or 6 months. So it's about a twice a year kind of purchase when you buy one of these. But I love everything about this except I noticed something funny happening. I had some dye transfer, and none of my pads are brand new. None of my pads were being used for the first time, and they've all been washed multiple times. They've been, you know, soaked in the sink in OxiClean, and they've been washed in a agitation washer, and then they've been in a dryer, and my software's freaking out, so I'm going to come back and finish this. So tired of that. I'm so sorry, but until I figure it out, that's how it's going to have to be. Okay, So, wonderful stain remover, but I was experiencing dye transfer. And I talked to my fabric dyeing goddess friend, Misty Triplet, and the link to her business is below. If you're looking for hand-dyed organic bamboo velour, or if you have questions about dyeing fabrics, she's your woman. Misty knows just about everything there is to know about dyeing fabrics, and she's tremendously talented. So she kind of got in on that conversation, and she asked if there was sodium chloride in the product, and yes, there is. It is ingredient number 3 on the bottle. So there's quite a bit of sodium chloride in here. Sodium chloride releases dyes. So you need to be careful about that. If you're going to do overnight soaking or that sort of thing, just keep an eye on the pads, because I had one sink where that did not take place, but then in this other sink, I had the black dye release out of some polyester fleece on the back of a pad that had been washed many times before. This was not a pad that had ever leaked on anything, but that happened. And then I had to go through the process of getting the dye to release, and she walked me through that because she's a genius with fabric dye. And so my pads were saved, but it was touch and go there for a little bit. So if you use the Ecover stick, keep that in mind. And so if you're the kind that will soak overnight, keep an eye on them. And make sure that the dye hasn't been released because of this. But outstanding stain remover, smells fantastic. It's on the lower side cost-wise. I just can't say enough nice things. It's really great. But the fabric dye thing, that made me a little, woo! So now I'll be paying attention every time I use this. And then finally, for my favorite of this first 4 products in this particular menagerie, I'm going to talk to you about my favorite, still my favorite, the Fels-Naptha bar. This is what it looks like naked out of the packaging after it's, better part of a year old. Now, I don't know if you can tell, but the bar was about that big. And I use this thing vigorously. I'm not careful with it. I scrub the stains with it. And you can see how much is left. This bar, if left to its own devices, I'll probably have this for 2 years or so. Because it's a wonderful product, and it's less than $1 US at most Walmart stores. I think I paid 95 cents for this bar of Fels-Naptha. And I will include a picture of what the packaging looks like so that when you see it in the store, you'll know what it is. Okay, here's a picture of the packaging on the bar. That's what it looks like. And here it is on the shelf in my local Walmart. And in addition to being cheap and lasting a very long time, it is incredibly effective. When I said that I went back on the Oxy stick and the Buncha Farmer stick, it was this that I used the second time to release those stains. I have a very nearly 100% success rate with this particular stain remover. Now, it is, I think it's under the Purex, or I think Purex is the parent company that owns the Fels-Naptha brand now. And it is only sold in the United States as far as I can make out. You may be able to order it online if you're not in the United States. I'm not positive. But go look on Amazon. It's worth it because it's such a cheap product, and once you get your hands on one of these, it's going to last you forever. So, highly recommend. This is still my favorite. It may get knocked out by one of the others that I'm going to try in the future, but I somehow seriously doubt it. Now, the smell, you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. It has a very strong smell. To me, it was wonderful from the time I opened the package. It smells like old-timey bar soap. It's a very clean scent to me, but other people may not care for it so much, so that's kind of hit or miss since those things are such personal preference. But if you're going to pick one of these two, the Ecover stick and the Fels-Naptha bar, really effective stain removers. So I highly recommend both. This one is my favorite simply for cost, and I never had any dyes released with this one. So if you can get your happy hands on a Fels-Naptha bar, give it a go. In my part 2 cleaner stain treater video, I'm going to have a look at Ruby's Red Wash and something called a Zote bar, Z-O-T-E. So that will be forthcoming in the future. Now, I didn't choose to show you any of my stains. That's just, I'm not comfortable doing that. Other people might be, and that's, hey, that's marvelous. I just, it's kind of like what I talked about in some of my Q&A videos. I just, it's personal. I don't air my dirty laundry. I always wanted to say that. Anyway, but I just, you don't need to actually look at the stains. I'm telling you what happened with them. This one, The Oxy stick, almost completely ineffective. Half of the stains that I had, this didn't get it out, and I had to go back with my Fels-Naptha bar and clean them. With the Buncha Farmer stain stick, as long as they were the relatively fresh, just bright red stains, this got most of that out. It was a pretty effective blood remover. But on the darker stains, there was no efficacy with that. It didn't get any of those out for me. This one took out every stain. I didn't have to follow up with Fels-Naptha on any of the pads that I treated with Ecover. It was a really good stain treater. Smells magnificent, relatively inexpensive, $3.49 US through Amazon. Great stain treater, but I did have dyes release, and that was, I kind of freaked out a little bit there because it was some of my favorite pads in that sink full, but I was able to get it all out with some help from my fabric goddess friend, Misty Triplet. And then this one here, the Fels-Naptha bar, very nearly a 100% success rate, getting all kinds of stains out with this. Old ones, bad ones, dark ones, normal ones. This thing is amazing. The Fels-Naptha bar is still my favorite. So, any hoodle, that's that for this one, and then in part 2 we'll cover the other ones. I hope you liked this. I hope this answered your questions. And I will put links to all of this stuff down below in the description. And if you want to get your happy hands on my 10-inch pattern, that is now available on the Facebook group. And so that link will be down below as well. Anyway, you guys have a good week, and let's see. I'm going to try to get another one of these out because it was requested to do an updated stash video, and I can film that with my phone, and the camera on my phone doesn't do this. It's already starting to do the Mr. Roboto thing where I'm, yeah, see what it's doing? Do you see it? It's driving me nuts. All right. Love you, people. Talk to you later.